All right. Welcome, people. Now, the market is a little bit dry, but still been all right for me. I've been taking scalps here and there. I'm just about to pass another challenge right now as well. But it's been a good kind of couple of weeks, I guess, even though the market's been pretty dry. I'm just about to close out some positions because I passed my challenge on another account that I had. So I'm trying to hook myself up and get out of the positions as soon as possible. But yeah, it's been a good little ride, I would say. Some of the pairs have done nothing at all for a while now, but then there's others that have been actually pretty nice, So I'm just trying to set up what needs to be set up so that we can, have a good little ride. So yeah, so setting up what needs to be set up. I'm expecting to see, like some good movements, hopefully later on in the week. Now, the trade I'm actually in right now, let me share my actual screen. The trade I'm actually in is pound NZD for a short. I'm just looking for a short scalp on it. And so far, so good. The scalp is working out pretty well. Now, if you hear my alarm whilst I'm teaching or going live or analyzing, all right, sorry about that. But it's just the only way for me to kind of figure out my come out point, because I already have a come out point. I put basically 2 lots short, nothing major, but it's just a setup for me to be able to kind of ease out of my positions, because I really want to just close and just sign my agreement so I can get my accounts and whatnot. But anyway, so that's the trade I'm in anyway. Pound Japanese yen. Pound NZD short. All right, so let me just switch over. Let's put the dollar index back on. Now, the dollar index, we've reached 106 now, guys, as I was saying to you. So if we follow through the format now, I don't know where my setup is. I want to see if I can hopefully find it. But anyway, I can rewrite it again. Now, if you remember what I said to you before, in terms of time and price theory, if I start from the monthly time frame, in order for the dollar index to really, give us that bullish push that we're looking for, right? It's going to have to close above the supply order block, which was created in February and has been holding the price ever since. Now, I always told you the dollar index is going to go extremely bullish in the bullish direction, just because of inflation. Quantitative tapering is going to be the Federal Reserve's go-to strategy to kind of curb inflation, which will strengthen the dollar indirectly. So that's what we actually have going on at the moment, as you can see from our setup here, right? Now, in terms of time and price, in order for this break above here to signal us for a very strong bullish move, it would have to happen by the end of the month, which is on Friday, 29th, right? The last trading day of the month. So there's no surprises there that the price is doing what it's doing right now. Okay. Now, my thing is I am expecting a pullback, and there's a couple of ways that the price could have done it. Now, the highest probability way was for the price to return into this supply order block over here. And you can see that the price has powered forward into that order block without returning to the validation point. Now, remember, we have a validation point here. Instead of using this long line, let me just actually use the shorter line here. So we've got this over here, guys, which is an area where the price didn't return to the validation point. Now, I guess some of you call this an FVG, right? And sometimes things have been a bit cheesy, but, through the price, but we have to try and do what we need to do. So now that the price has, got into this area here, I'm expecting it to enter into this supply zone. And ideally, once it gets in here, I'm not looking for a daily induction. We need a weekly one. So I think what I'm expecting most likely is the price will probably end off the week in here, but then we're going to need that weekly induction to bring us back down here, because we need the break and flip strategy or structure here. That's that aspect there. Once that happens, then on the D1, then we can start looking for our short. Now, the target here is just to come back to the high. Now, to get this right, let me just go over to the high of the week, D1H4. The high of that week is right over here. This is the week in question. And you can see there's a plethora of lows here that the price has left behind. Now, some of you don't see this, and I've been querying with others to see what they see, if they can see what I'm seeing. What am I talking about? Well, the time when we had the NFP news come out, there's a liquidity gap that's been left behind right over here. Now, this liquidity gap hasn't been filled yet, but I know that it will be filled pretty soon. Right now, the price is creating some buy order aggregates all across here. We have quite a few across the board, which lets me know that sooner or later, the price is actually going to give us a pretty much a banger of a short, okay? And when it does do that, the aim is back down to 103. Okay, when that does happen, that will be great for, you know, different pairs, but you can see that how the dollar's been powering forward. Now, if it doesn't come back down to fill that gap, I'm not offended whatsoever in the slightest. Okay, if it happens, it happens. Okay, but this weekly order block is where I'm looking for the price to kind of curve off and start to reverse, just temporarily, just a pullback here. Maybe the NFPs might be able to give us this in 1 week, maybe, and then after, from that point onwards, we can go for a long. Now, as I said, with time and price theory, surprise, surprise, next week we have the NFP news. And obviously NFP week, there's quite a bit of news circulating, which has enough potency to cause the price to move quite a bit. So I wouldn't be surprised if the NFPs help us push this, you know, counter direction before we go long again. So, you know, setting ourselves up here, this is what I'm looking for. All right. Now, based on what the price is doing at the moment, it's pretty boring out there. I'm not even going to lie to you. I mean, USD CAD has taken the high of the previous week, but it's not really the strongest move, and plus it's left equal highs here, so I don't actually really trust it right now to sell off. All right, Euro USD is piling down for a short, which is really nice. And so really, if you wanted to catch kind of like a free fall kind of movement going on, you've got a couple of options there. You've got AD USD. I mean, any of the USD pairs right now, because the dollar is gaining so much strength, you'll see the effects of it on more things like Euro USD, NZD USD a bit, USD JPY, so clear one. Pound USD is another obvious one, USD CHF. Now, USD CHF has done a hell of a rally. It's come all the way back up to this supply order block here. So the original buy that we were expecting, the price just did a little cheeky pull down before it pulled back up again. But nonetheless, it's come to this liquidity gap now. It still has these equal highs to go for here. So, and then these highs right here. So I know that we're going to have a very strong dollar, you know, proceeding forth, but we're going to get a pullback at some point. And that's what I'm really waiting for. So, you know, on that note, if that's going to be the case, then you see the US 30 is going to be pushing short. Now I'm a bit annoyed because I was in the US 30. I got tired of waiting for it to pull back down and I closed it. Should have left it open. But that's minor anyway. It happens, isn't it? But yeah, this is what we've got going on. So in terms of setups right now, guys, really, there's not that many. It's pretty sparse. I've been playing with the NZD pairs a lot. Like, as I see, there's a trade over here set up that I like. We also have some other pairs. Now, whenever the market's like this, sometimes I just prefer, it's just because I am in a trade, you know, I can talk, but if I wasn't in a trade, really and truly, I'd just be an analyst or maybe try and capture some scalps, because of course, Euro USD is in a free fall right now. And most likely is going to take these lows right here, which means you can grab maybe 10 or 20 pips in the right direction, you know, for yourself. It's just a matter of timing really with the entry. Now, for me, it'd probably be a 3 o'clock thing to get in, but, you know, this is, you know, something that I can vouch on will happen. Now, I just accidentally put my AD USD all the way down here. So I need to bring it all the way back up. Drag this all the way here and then take it over here. Now, it happens sometimes when you do that, you can accidentally drag stuff. Let's bring it all the way back up to where it's supposed to be. But yeah, guys, so looking across the board at the moment, there's a couple of scalps. I mean, the US 30, I was expecting it to kind of sell off, but I just kind of messed up with, I got tired of waiting to hold on to it because I knew it was going to go short because it hasn't taken the low. I think the US 30 is probably a really nice one to, probably a sweet trade to go and grab. It's 245 right now. Now, what I was hoping though for, this is my setup, is that I'm waiting for the price to come back over here. All right, once it gets over here, if you want to jump in with this one, jump in on this one with me. Let's look for the next H4 candle to take this high and really come back to this H4 validation point here. Once it does that, then, you know, we're looking good right now. All right, I'm watching my trade quickly. It's almost time for me to come out. So yeah, I mean, ideally, this is the setup that we want to get going. The US 30 at the moment, the only thing I would say though we should watch out for is that because the dollar index is about to reach into this area, the US 30 is about to take the low of the previous day. So we also want to be careful that we don't get ourselves in a position where the price actually does something dodgy and stops us out. All right, too early. So I'm not going to rush it. I'm going to say let's wait till 3 o'clock for now. So with the biases that I've given you, what this really means is that we probably have a day or so more, because today is Wednesday, right? We have a day or so more of probably dollar bullish action, but we're going to get a reversal probably by Friday. So let's just keep our eyes on that. All right. Now my alarm is about to go off, guys, because it's about time for me to come out of my trade because I passed the challenge basically. So if you hear the alarm, I apologize, guys, in advance. But yeah, so this is really my setups now. Looking forward, to what we've got going on. I think we've got a great couple of setups to go. Now, let me just quickly come out of my position, guys, because the alarm is going to go off anyway in a minute. Anyway, just leave the alarm anyway. Let's continue. So, I mean, we have a couple of setups here. I just want to see how the dollar is going to behave. Now, the pullback, if I was to estimate exactly where it's going to stop or start at, we have a D1 demand zone at 106.277 on the D1. So when the price gets into this 106.277, now the range is really small for this order block here. So I'm going to put the upper band to it as well over here. Here's the upper band. Once the price gets in here, maybe tomorrow, and the price gives us some reversal signature, then we'll start to see the pullbacks happening. Now, give me 1 second, guys, so that I can come out of my position really quickly. Let me just do this real quick. Yeah, so I mean, this is what I'm kind of watching for when it comes to the trades. But in terms of actually setting up trades right now, I wouldn't really want to do that. I mean, you could scalp gold because gold is just powering down. And if it is the case right now, because gold is getting near to that gap, I don't know if it's going to fill the gap right now, so don't take my word for it. But you see this liquidity gap here. The price is really getting very close by now. The only barrier left for gold to not continue going towards that gap is that there is a low of the previous month of August right over here. Now, if the price is sensitive and there's liquidity, I know there will be sell stops beneath this low, but if the price gets a little reaction going here, then it might leave the gap alone and come back again. So I want to see how it works because we're getting very, very close again, as I said, to that supply order block on the D1 range for the dollar index I'm talking about here. So if the price gets in here, we might actually get a reversal reaction. So let's wait till 3 o'clock, guys. All right, for now, let's just chill out, see what the market has to offer, and then come back, later on and see what we get. All right, so my people, I'm going to leave you for now. I don't want to bore you with trades that are not there. And we'll take you there and we will sort out what needs to be sorted out.